son's actions or not, and whether he was goaded by some bad spirits or not. I think a lot of what they said was right. So I feel like, I don't know, I was a little bit like, Richard just made this man, like, believes all false and, like, fucked with his brain and humiliated in front of his men when I don't know that he actually was that wrong.
Yeah, I mean, he wasn't. And they did make it sound like he gave him the medallion, right? We've made peace. I'm sorry. Take this back as a message to your people that, like, we mean no harm and we're done here. But in doing that, I don't know why, it made me feel like if the Birdman, like, took off all the feathers and stuff, and, like, that would be him resigning his position.
I cannot see how he would be able to go back to his village and, with his head held high, keep leading them. Richard literally laughed in his face, called him an idiot, and said anybody who follows this man is also an idiot. So I can't imagine that your people are going to stand behind you when you brought us all to war, potentially, with people who didn't want to fight us, and you had us humiliated. It was all your fault. So, you're a bad spirit man. Jeff is next.
Well, I mean, Jeff. Good for you, Jeff. You really put in the work.
Stepping up here.
I just feel like he could have been stripped of all his power. I thought, him handing that thing over was kind of him being like, all right, I'm done. I gave the official crown jewels to that guy. So I don't know, maybe he's the king now. But also in the way that he did fail his men, and they probably have just a good, healthy lack of respect for him now.
Yeah.
Even if he does go back and retains his spirit guide position, people they're just not going to trust him the same. It'll never be the same because of that one night. And
because of the way that Richard, like, stomped all over him.
Right, exactly. Yeah. Shit all over your boss in public, man. Like, I work for this guy.
Yeah.
Do you have any openings?
Mom on Grid did mention the spirits came as a voice to him, just like we were saying. It made him feel the mud people were dangerous, and they were speaking to his son, making him feel a need to kill. I guess it did imply some fuckery with their heads and, like, making them feel like lust to murder, but still, I maintain the spirit thing that we were just talking about. I do think that some true spirits were coming through and telling actual, factual information that Richard just spit all over, because he's kind of a dick.
Just real quick, two things that stuck out to me were the fact that Richard speculates, Mob on Grid and his son were told two separate things.
Yeah.
That they heard something different because they were both like, okay, village is in danger. I'm like going into defensive mode. I'm going to send my kid out there and figure out what's going on. I want to understand the situation, which does imply wise leader. But then the kid goes out with, like, hate in his heart and he's ready to hurt somebody. So it does seem like they had two different messages.
Yeah.
The other thing that stuck out to me, and I don't know that this is important, but I feel like it's not that far of a jump if it is one. Mob on Grid says he can't remember the exact words. He's like, I don't really remember what it said, like it was more of a feeling or whatever, but he heard the words. He heard them, so it wasn't a feeling. It was a sound.
Yeah.
And it's my understanding that if magic comes across your eyes or ears and you're not supposed to truly understand it, then you forget it. But you can hang on to a feeling. So I guess what I was trying to point to is that maybe Richard isn't wrong by saying that they're false spirits to play devil's advocate, because this could have been magic that he would have been unable to remember exactly.
Well, yeah, I mean, that could be, totally.
Check out that rabbit hole. I'm sorry, it popped in my head and I wanted to mention it. It's a theory. I'm sure it has some holes, and I'm sure that all of you would be happy to fill them. That was awful.
Wow. That was weird. All right. The Bontoc leave. And I think that this is a very good time for us to take a break.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I was going to, after the last thing I said, I need beer.
Yeah. Yeah. So tonight we are drinking a a beer that we actually had a few weekends ago when we went tubing for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this is not our
This year.
first time tubing. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was also our first time with this beer. This beer is called Trail Light. It's from Arbor Brewing Company. It's a fruit beer. It's 4.3%, so it's not super strong. But the fun thing about it is it's only 99 calories, 0 sugar, and 3 grams of carbs. So it's like healthy beer.
Healthy beer.
Yeah.
I never thought I was going to hear the words, but I'm glad that I did.
Yeah, and it's actually like surprisingly easy to drink. A lot of things that are low in sugar, like low in calorie and alcoholic, I'm not a fan of.
Yeah, no, I was really happy with it. It was a good river beer.
Yeah, it was really easy to drink and like not be bogged down like in the sun all day. It's activated with salts to create a thirst-quenching beer that's light and crisp, and it has bright flavors of red raspberries accented with lemon drop hops and hibiscus. So, it's pretty fucking good beer. I suggest it.
Me too, definitely. I mean, raspberry. So, like, I'm in.
Yeah.
I'm in.
That's why we bought it, because I was like, yeah, Nate's gonna like it. And then I noticed after I bought it that it was the healthy beer. Yay!
Devil score. So I could fit into my trunks. Look out, beach, here I come.
Yeah, summer bod.
I mean, we live in Michigan, so like camping, we do a lot of that and tubing and stuff, but like beach, we have a lot.
Yeah.
A lot. So I'm going to use it.
And it's good to find a nice, good beer for the heat, too. So this is a solid one. I'm going to grab another one, and we are going to be back right after this.
And we're back. So, as Richard and Kahlan make their way back into the village, Richard is like talking logistics with Kahlan. He's like, hey, the keeper is making moves. He's making plays right now. He's like laying traps. He's taking the time to discredit you. But like, really, the spirits were telling the truth.
Yeah, it's maybe the keeper laying traps and making moves to discredit her, but it could just be like the true spirits, like Mab on Grid's grandma being like, yo, Mother Confessor lost her power, huh? That's pretty weird. Despite the fact that the keeper is pulling some fucking shit, the plan hasn't changed, and neither has Richard's opinion on being a wizard. He was just playing a trick, but, like, I roll. This is annoying. Why the fuck are we going backwards again to the place where Richard's like, nope, not a wizard.
Yeah, like you were saying, it gives you that little sliver of hope, like, oh, yes, he gets it now. He's a fucking wizard. Dude, you're a wizard, Richard. But he's not. He hasn't changed his mind at all. He was just tricking you.
That's annoying, though. I wish he wouldn't.
Well, yeah. Richard always seems to be a step or two ahead.
It also seemed like a super easy solution. Like, yeah, you're her wizard. Yay! Everything's solved.
Well, they've been telling you have magic for all this time, so just maybe.
Yeah.
Crazy idea, Richard. You're a wizard.
They also talk about him turning the blade white and how it makes him feel shitty, just like all around. He doesn't like doing it. It's not great for him.
Yeah, there's a lot of shit that goes along with it. I mean, you know, all the emotions you have to feel just to be able to truly forgive somebody. It's kind of got to take you on a bit of an emotional roller coaster, I would imagine.
Yeah, I mean, he says even for Kahlan, he had to, like, commit to doing that to her, and it just sucks.
Yeah, for sure. So they return to the village to tell him what happened with the Bontok, and are told that the sisters are back. Yay, everybody's favorite. I was going to say triplets, but twins now, really.
Yeah.
Only 2 left, which is great. You know, we were just talking about in the last episode how Richard has had enough. He's spread too thin. Now here he is handling this situation. I mean, something you were aware of, but a little bit out of left field. Here's the sisters again. Here they come to wreck your day. Kind of a just...
No, I would be so fucking over the day at this point. Like, I can't even imagine how frustrated you would. The chapters break this up a little bit to where, especially if you're reading spread out and not back to back, maybe don't realize how intensely back-to-back this shit is. Like, they were planning for the gathering. He ate human meat. He had to go deal with the whole new issue that wasn't an issue before. Like, that people eating was for the gathering. Like, he had a plan that got diverted because of the Bontoc.
Right.
He took care of that. Now he's back to finish the gathering, and their fucking sisters are there. Like, what the fuck?
It kind of goes along with something that you and I were discussing before, like, recording, that really it's chapter 15, and then there's a 15.2.
Yeah.
Like, there really is 2 separate chapters here.
Yeah.
What could have been 2 separate chapters?
Terry didn't want you to go to sleep in between the 2 chapters. He wanted you to experience the whole chapter as one, so you could be just as frustrated as Richard is that these bitches showed up again.
Right. You're still kind of getting into the book. You know, Jim Bond, now he's invested. So he knows you're carrying it with you. It's if you have an office job and you take lunch there, like, it's with you. It's in the car at least. And then obviously next to your bed at the end of the day. And you're going to get to this spot and he's just imagining it in his head, like right around 2 a.m. And you're like, I'm up way too late. And then you hit this chapter and you're like, shit, no, I got to keep going.
Mm-hmm. You hit the point in the chapter where, like, oh, well, this next page is going to be the end of it. And then it's not, and you flip a couple more pages, and you realize that there's a whole nother half to the chapter, and you're like, I shouldn't have started this one.
This was not the right one for just some late night reading.
But now I gotta finish it. Fuck. All right.
Hey, I've been there.
Richard does a little bit of math, figures out it's been 3 days since he saw these sisters last, which means that they're going to be able to get away before the next time they show up. Kahlan's like, maybe they're not going to be consistent, though, but let's go with it. Okay.
You've seen these people, what, once so far, right? And this will be your second. It's been 3 days, so Kahlan is speculating as to whether or not the next time they see them, if it's going to be shorter than that. Like, we can't plan on having 3 days. They might be back before then. But I think that you've seen them so little as it is, even though they're a huge pain in the ass, you don't really have enough information to speculate about this right now. Nor is it really worth your time. If you have a plan to leave tomorrow, then fucking leave tomorrow.
I mean, if you can leave tonight, do that.
Yeah, oh, yeah, well, yeah, even better. Get the hell out of Dodge. I guess that's all I meant. Like, so what if they're going to come in a day or 3 days? If it's your plan to leave tomorrow, even if they do show up, you have a dragon. Dragon.
I would just call the dragon now.
Yeah, well, yeah. Just let her, give her some time.
Yeah.
She's got a baby to feed.
And it takes like a day.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't even think about that. She's like, yeah, I'll be there in like 36 hours. And like, I needed you in like 45 minutes.
I'll just call an Uber.
Well, it's really the best way.
Well, as soon as Richard gets into the spirit house, he starts making demands. Like, as soon as he gets in. He's like, so, there's some rules of my own. You're not going to kill yourself today, okay? Got that? All right, next one. But they don't listen to any of them. They just completely ignore him.
They deflate those balls pretty fast. Oh, I'm sorry. Did you think you were in charge? I can't make my voice go much higher, but it would go way higher.
You're basically 10 years old to me. You don't matter. Your
Right.
brain doesn't matter. Your thoughts. Elizabeth proceeds to cut through all the bullshit and tell him basically the second reason for the collar is to control you. So, you should probably just take it so he can control you. She begs him to accept it because it's only going to be harder the next time they come around.
Right. I mean, what a leading statement. Oh, we're going to control you with it. He's like, well, what do you mean? Can't tell you that. Why even give me the reason? Like, it's a shitty reason. I know I asked why, but this doesn't really answer any questions for me. Like, yeah, you're going to use it to control me. I get, like, dog with a leash style. I don't see a ring on it, so it's got to be magic, right?
Yeah, this whole process is super fucking weird. I don't know. They can't give him all the information. They're not lying to him. I feel like there's got to be a lot more magic to it. That's like he has to put it on himself and you can't lie about it or something, but I don't know. I feel like there's a different route to what they're trying to achieve without saying all the shit that's going to discourage him from wanting to put it on.
Yeah, well,